Yeah, it's easy to be like, I'm a business owner.
Yeah,
I'm a business owner. Then expenses come. Shit, I'm a business owner. What's going on, everyone? You're watching Emeroy TV or Vision Paradox TV, or you might be listening to this as a podcast somewhere on Spotify or iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you're listening, maybe even Anchor. Today, well, this is actually my third podcast in a row, but you guys can't tell because you guys are listening to this on your own time. Today, I have a good friend of mine. I'm actually just reconnecting with her because of an upcoming project. Her name is Crystal. She's an owner of an amazing studio called the CrystalArts Dance Academy.
Hey guys.
So I don't really have a proper bio because I didn't prepare for this interview properly.
No, we didn't.
This was like literally on the whim. Like, oh, this is a cool space. Let's book it. You want to do a podcast? And then she was like, yeah, pretty much. Let the people know a little bit about you, your background in dance, your social security number, why you
Whoa. That's always a tough one.
It's always a tough one. What number is it? No. And a little bit about your dance space and what kind of led you to become a studio owner.
Okay.
So it's a loaded question. Let's actually simplify it. Let's actually start with you and your dance background a little bit.
Okay. All right. So let's start with that. So since I was born,
since you were born, you were
Since
dancing. So it's a very difficult pregnancy.
So it all started through my dad. My dad, he used to be a rock and roll competitor.
This is I didn't know that.
Yeah, back in the day, I guess. But he would compete.
That's cool.
Yeah, and when I was little, he would teach me. He would teach me how to dance, and then he taught me how to wave and do all that stuff.
Oh, that's tight.
What's it called? So he was my first dance instructor.
Yeah.
Back in the day, my parents couldn't afford dance classes, so my dad would teach me. So we would perform here and there, quinceañeras and things like that. And then eventually I got into high school. I joined the dance team.
Which high school?
I went to Reseda High School. So it's down the street from the studio. Not too far from here. So there we did a little bit of everything. We did hip hop, jazz, your typical stuff.
Yeah.
And then from there, I was a quiet person. So I've noticed a change in me. And I noticed that dance helped me out a lot.
Dance does that.
Yeah.
I used to be super shy as well.
Yeah.
I was angry skater, quiet, sorry. Angry, quiet skater boy. This was during my years when I quit dancing.
Okay.
And then when I rediscovered my passion for dancing, I'd become a lot more relaxed or started to develop some extroverted tendencies.
Yeah.
So dance and definitely a huge, big in confidence boosting.
Yeah, really, it's a really great confidence boost. So yeah, that's what we had some visitors.
Yeah, the thing with this podcast is it's a lot of the stuff is. Oh, you hear that? The podcast is very raw and real. There's a lot of stuff that can be unpredictable, that can be random. I've done podcasts where outside of the Starbucks and cars are passing by. But I'm hoping that you guys are still enjoying it either way because I don't want external environment to be the reason why we don't have these amazing conversations.
Yeah, that's true. So this is real life.
Yeah. So
it's perfect.
Have things happen? Real life happens.
Yes. So then I started with there. It opened so many doors for me, and then I saw a change in myself, and little by little I started helping others through my passion. And then later on, my goal here in this world is my mission to help others through my passion. So then that's where the idea came about, I want to have my own dance studio one day. I had that in mind.
Yeah.
I never knew it was going to happen, but I just put it in my mind.
Yeah.
And it was always there.
It's definitely one of those things I hear a lot of dancers say, oh, I want to own my own studio, but not a lot do. So I'd say you're one of the few people that actually execute, which is badass. What do you call it? I used to aspire to having my own studio, but after working at a studio, it no longer became a passion because I realized, when owning a studio doesn't mean you're always dancing, but there's a whole lot of business stuff that
on the side,
and that you just yeah, that I wasn't attracted to. I mean, I run
it's
my own business now,
different.
but it's different. Like for a studio, like, where you're trying to promote more classes, get rent out the space.
And things
There's a whole
like
bunch of stuff
that.
that I
That's
just scared me, to be honest. So, so
No, and I get that because before this, I used to work at a dance studio too.
Mhm.
But I had to quit right away because I didn't like how things were
Is this
being
what we were
done.
talking about before we filmed?
Kind of, sorta.
Yeah.
Not really. But
Okay.
before that, this came along, and then after that, I was like, I'm done. I wanna.
When did you know that it was time to take the leap to open up your studio?
Ooh. You know what? Let's see. So we go a little bit way back before I already had in mind that I wanted to have a dance studio.
Yeah.
You know. So then I just had that in mind. I didn't know how I was gonna get there.
That's fucking cool, man.
Yeah, I honestly didn't. And then so after I graduated, I went to college. And then in college, I went in as a kinesiology dance major. And then there, I just started, dancing a lot more. And then I started making videos. And then after that, someone reached out to me because they saw one of my videos. And they said, hey, I'm starting a dance company. I wanted to see if you wanted to join. So that's the one that I was telling you about.
Okay.
So I became a co-owner of that company.
Yeah.
So then in my head, I was like, oh, wow, this is an opportunity for me to kind of another a step for me to get into what I want to do, And so, I came on board. Things were going great. I built it up, built my clientele too, got myself out there. And then later on, it just didn't work out. Business partners sometimes can get a little tricky.
Yeah, you guys have different ideas of what you want to achieve. Like different visions can collide. Yeah,
definitely. So then I ended up leaving that, and then after that, I joined that dance studio. Actually, not far from here. I did a dance studio. I was working there as a manager assistant.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, you didn't like how things were running.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, why am I working here? Like, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
I'm not happy, and this should be a fun thing to do. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And then after, I was like, you know what? This is it. I'm not going to work for anyone else. I'm just going to do my own thing, try to figure it out.
Damn.
Some way, somehow. A friend of ours, I don't know if do you know, what's his name? I completely just blanked out on his name. Anyway, this friend reached out to me, and he said, hey, Crystal, what are you doing today? And I was like, nothing. Why? Why do you ask? And he said, hey, I need help on a wedding dance. I know you know Latin, so can you help me out?
Yeah.
They want to do a Latin routine for their wedding dance. I was like, perfect. So then I go into this studio, a brand new studio, and that's at the old location.
Oh.
Yeah, the old location.
So that studio, the old location was a different studio before you took it over?
It was a different studio, but they had just opened.
Oh.
So they were there maybe like when I went in, like 2-3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So then after that, they came to me and they were like, hey, we're looking for instructors. And so I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe this is a new door.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for it. So I ended up renting it out and just started building my own clientele, my own company.
Damn.
Yeah. And before that, though, I made sure I published the name. CrystalArts Dance Academy. Yeah, so no one can take it.
Got it.
But yeah, and then after that, after things were, picking up little by little, for some reason, one night I told my dad, this studio is going to be mine. A year after, it became mine.
Wow, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm like loving about your story so far is like the whole thing, like you had a vision, you didn't know how to get there, but it was gonna happen anyways.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people get so caught up in the how that they don't even begin.
That's true. Cause I thought once I graduated from CSUN, it was gonna take me 10 years to get a dance studio.
Wow, that's so cool that you're so patient with the whole 10-year thing. You know what I mean? Because especially with the social media generation, it's like, oh, it's going to happen in a year. It's going to happen in a few months. But I like how you really were ready to embrace the long game.
Yeah, I really was.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, and that's what back in the day they would tell you, it takes this long for you to get your, your own business and things like that.
yeah.
And that's what I had in mind. I was like, okay, it's going to take me that long. Might as well just try to do things in my field and see where it gets me, you know? And then a little between these paths, like you find connections and they lead you to other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, in this case, I think one thing that I have is that I always set my mind to it, or maybe I kind of put it out to the universe, and for some reason it happens.
Like really setting the intention.
Yeah.
And then, I think a lot of people are kind of wishy-washy with what they want, or that anything that comes their way is kind of what they get.
Yeah, and that's so true. And another thing that has helped me out too is just having faith and having that patience. It's a big thing.
It's so funny. I was just talking about that in a vlog entry of and a previous thing today, a previous interview with another person today was like, you can be confident. Oh no, it's having more faith, because you can lack confidence in something but have faith that things will work out.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, sorry.
That's actually true. That's how you get far. I believe that, and I grew up, my parents like in the church and kind of, having that belief and spiritual side of me. So I've always had it. Every time I put it out to the universe, and it happens. That's
freaking cool.
Yeah.
One thing, because now we're talking about like the idea of faith, kind of turning it in a different way. What's something in the middle of like some tough times? I think the self-talk we have with each other, like with ourselves, is important. Like, what are some things you tell yourself when things are tough?
Sometimes when it gets to that point, I tell myself, Crystal, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's gonna be okay. Just trust in God.
Yeah.
I don't know. Those are the little pep talks that they tell myself.
That's good. Yeah, because everyone's gonna have different.
Yeah. So like, just trust Him. Like, He wouldn't give you anything that He didn't want you, or that you can't, take or handle. Yeah.
Actually, what was your first year as a studio owner like?
You know what? It was one of the, greatest feeling I've ever ever had, because I was realizing I had put it out there, and it came to a reality. And every night I would leave and I was like, wow, I can't believe this is mine.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's crazy, and I love it. I love being a business owner.
Yeah.
And I also love the fact that I have a space to help others. As in, there's people that want to rent it out to have their own classes, their own space for auditions, or you're giving them a home, or, somewhere to put their own business in your business as well. And then also not just that, but also like teaching the students, and then, later on seeing their progress over the years.
That's always the best.
Like their confidence goes up, they're more open, they become dancers or like instructors, and just seeing that, it makes me feel good, and like I could sleep good at night.
That's freaking cool. Did you have any, like, when you decided to take on start your own dance studio, did you have any like doubters, like people saying like, what are you doing? It's fucking crazy, like a studio.
Yeah, to be honest, I did. They would tell me, it's gonna take you years and you need the money. And
it's always about money, man.
It's always. So I had my doubters, and I would have friends, even friends that are like, are you sure you could do this? Like, this is a lot of work. You think you could handle this? Are you sure?
Damn. Are you sure you can do that?
Well, look at me now. No, I'm just kidding.
This space is honestly, because a huge upgrade compared to the other one. I love the lighting. I love the windows. I'm a sucker for spaces with big windows.
Oh, me too. Yeah, when I saw this place. I
love the natural sunlight that comes in.
Yeah. And one thing to know with this process, though, is that things are always going to be tough. And you just have to have faith, have the patience, and do not lose that your mission or your passion. Because along the way there's gonna be rough paths, or
I'm curious for what you would say to people who want to start their own studio. Like, what should they expect? Like, not
Whoa.
like so like expect, I don't know, fucking the plumbing to go out. You know what I mean?
Oh my
Or
God!
so-
Thank God that has not happened
you know,
yet.
that would be really expensive.
Yeah.
Like, or I don't know, things that they wouldn't expect. You know, like obviously there's like refurbishing the whole
yeah.
place and promoting. What are some things that they probably wouldn't expect?
You know what? Each time I'm learning a lot. That the old studio, it was attached to a gym. I don't know if you remember
Yeah, I
that.
remember that.
So it was attached to a gym, and it was easier because when I was leasing the place, it was already built.
Yeah.
It was done. I didn't have to worry about so much, but the landlord, and just keeping it nice and clean and making sure the customers are happy.
Yeah.
So, but coming into this new location, it's a different story because, well, I'm leasing it for 5 years, and I had to build it from ground and up. Meaning, this used to be a beauty salon, so I had to like build the flooring, the mirrors,
Jesus.
the wall, another room.
So this when you got the space, it still looked like a salon?
Yeah.
Oh wow! So you had to like tear it down. It was like a real like HGTV kind of thing. The home network.
Yeah, it was
kind of
completely different. Yeah,
Wow.
like
Did you take before pictures?
Yeah, I did, and video.
I really want to see that.
Yeah, I'll show them to you.
Kind of like show add that. Yeah, I really want to see the transformation of this.
Yeah, so yeah, it used to be tile, but I'll show you pictures. But I would say the tough part is just, everything's some money. Recreating this space and making it. And on the other one, I didn't have to do so much, but on this one, you have to worry about a lot of things. Making sure rent is paid on time, the plumbing, the flooring, the mirrors, whatever you need for the studio. But I would say that shouldn't stop you, because there's different ways, different solutions, or there's a lot of resources that could help you, build your space.
Or
what
do you call it? When it comes to, I guess, getting that initial funding, I don't know if you're comfortable talking about it. Did you have to take out a loan, or did you have to get funding from like investors, or because I think you said money was hard, like especially like bootstrap. Some people would aim for investors. Some people would take out a loan. Some people would get funding for. You even use a Kickstarter. I don't know how. Like, what? How did you? If you're comfortable about talking about that.
Yeah, I think definitely. I would say first of all, like if you have a great, strong support system.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
I did have help from friends.
Oh, so that's fucking amazing.
Yeah. So you always, and I'm grateful and thankful for them.
Yeah.
And that's because they believed in me, and that's because they also felt something, that because I helped them through whatever they were going through.
Yeah.
And they were willing to help out.
Yeah.
And then I did get a few loans, but I do not have the best credit score and all that stuff.
Okay.
So sometimes they limit you on how much you can get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm confident. The business is gonna do well. I think that's such a old, like, I feel like there's such a taboo with getting loans, especially starting a business. When before the whole internet era, like everyone's right now, a lot of people are big. I don't know how well versed you are in the tech space, but a lot of people are big on getting investors and funding and all that stuff. But people forget that the old school way of building a business was going to the bank and getting a loan. That's how, if it wasn't for the internet, like if we didn't have all this, that's how you would do it. And if you didn't pay, and I think that way kind of lit a fire under your ass, because you have to pay it back. You can't slack off on your business. There's accountability in getting a loan compared to getting in funding. You're just burning through someone's cash. There's no real accountability in a sense, unless your investors get really pissed off at you for running through their cash. But yeah, because especially with the stigma because of student loans and all that stuff. But I think you did it old school way, which is fucking badass, and you're making it work. And then
Yeah, and sometimes I ask myself, how am I doing it? You know, but first you have to have faith, and you know that's strong support system, friends and family.
Is it you just running this whole space by yourself?
Yeah.
Fuck, that's bad.
Yeah.
No assistant manager, no anything.
It's all me. It's all me.
You're
Even
fucking
on
amazing.
the other location, the first location was a little bit tough when I was starting out because my dad got sick. Like he went through cancer, radiation, strokes, three strokes. So it was a tough. And my dad, it's interesting because like he would help me out and throughout my whole life, you know. And then at this time he was in bed.
Damn.
And then but I was doing my own thing. And the thing is, if way back before, like I knew I wanted to have my own dance studio.
Yeah.
So what I did throughout the years, so if I met someone, I would always write their name to keep them in mind. If they're good, I was like, oh, I could have them in my dance studio to teach.
Oh, that's cool.
So I would have things like that. Or like if I went to a dance studio, I would always go and analyze little things.
Oh, geez. Like you're really like taking it. That's like market research.
Yeah. And then sometimes like they'll give me flyers or liability waivers to sign. And I would always tell them, can I get a copy of that? Can I get a copy of that? So I have a box of all these things. You know, so that way, because I knew I was going to have my own dance studio, I could just use it and change the words and add-ons, things like that.
So one thing that I definitely loved how you did is that you didn't try to reinvent the wheel. You know, like some people try to like, I want to be super original, but a lot of one of my favorite things, I don't know if you listen to Tony Robbins.
Like
one of the things he says is success leaves clues. So that's what so there's no need to reinvent the wheel. So other studios that are doing it well already, you kind of like, it's kind of like a buffet of like, I like this, I like this, I like this. And you kind of like make your own concoction of what works, what fits with your vision. When it comes to this running this by yourself, like I'm wondering, like, do you sometimes feel like you're overwhelmed? I know for me, like when it comes to running my business, there are moments where I feel like I need to take a break, and I'm like, I'm taking on too much, and then my assistant tells me I'm doing too much, you need to take a break, and then I'm like, no, I'm fine, but then I need to take a break.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie, it does take a little. It is a little bit overwhelming, but then at the end, it's worth it.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you're doing everything on your own.
Yeah.
You have to play so many hats.
Yeah.
You know, like the cleaning. I do the cleaning. You know, managing the marketing, building the space. You know, being in the front door.
Yeah.
All these things. And it can be a little bit overwhelming. Sometimes you have to take time for yourself as well.
Yeah. So
that way you could continue coming with new ideas. And continue. That's true. And that way for you to move forward, because if you're just working, you don't have time, you don't have that space to kind of add new ideas, or how can you improve your business, things like that. So I would say you will need that space, at least one day or a few hours, to clear your mind and for you to get moving.
Damn, fucking respect. You're running a brick and mortar, you're doing everything from front to dude, that is badass. I think I don't know if people can appreciate in that's some real hustle right there. Thank you. And I really respect that and acknowledge you for that, because it's like you're really taking it on your own. And I definitely agree that having that at least once a week for yourself is essential, because we need some time to decompress, because especially since being business owners, it's like you want to keep going, you want to do whatever it takes to get it to grow, and even better if you can get it to grow faster. We're always trying to figure out ways to improve the business, but we forget sometimes in the middle of that it's important to take care of ourselves. because if we're not operating well, the business doesn't operate well.
Yeah, that's true. And sometimes, especially there's times where you start a business, you don't have the money, so you have to do everything. But just know that things come within time and at the right time.
Oh my God, you're the third person to say that today.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. I think every podcast I've done today has said that.
Oh wow.
So
yeah, it's true, because if you're trying to force something, it's not gonna happen, or it's not gonna go well. So you just have to have that patience, and when it's the right time, it's gonna happen. So that's how this place came to happen. So
damn, I fucking love that. That's like the message today.
It's message of the day.
Yeah, literally, like it's like I was just saying, not here, but in the previous podcast, it was like, success is going to come at its own time. The results are going to come at its own time, not when you want it. It's just, you just have to be patient and keep putting in the work. Exactly what you're saying. I'm essentially just reiterating. I'm just, I'm half tired, but majority, like 70% mind blown with how this is like the recurring message of the day. So, and it's coming from people who are actually doing things.
Yeah.
Because you're going to hear opinions and thoughts from people who are just, who just like to talk, but aren't doing anything. And that's one thing to be mindful for and
be careful. Yeah.
Because people are going to say, like, when people try to give you advice, take a look at the results they've made, and then ask yourself, is this the right person to be listening to?
Yeah.
And then
that's true.
And then I've been blessed to interview 3 people so far who are doing who are doing amazing things, and have said the same thing, that just because that's going to come at its own time, you just got to be patient.
Yeah. And you know what, in the time period where you're not doing anything, or you are, make sure you never stop trying to do things that are going to lead you to your goal, because once it happens, you want to be ready.
Oh yeah, because like people want the opportunity but do nothing to get ready for it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh shit, they're deer in the headlights, and they fuck up.
Yeah. And
then they say like, it's not meant to be. It's like, because you weren't ready.
Yeah. And yeah, like throughout the years, I've been preparing just by saving little notes or liability waivers or things like that. Once the time came, so remember how my dad was sick?
Yeah.
So when the time came, I opened the studio, the last one, and in 2 weeks I was in business because I had everything. And then my dad was in bed, and he would tell me, oh, I feel so bad, I'm not helping you. Once he got better, he came to the studio, and he's like, whoa, like how did you do this? Like, how did you know how to do this and that?
It's so cool for a father to see. I don't know, being a dad myself, I'm like trying to put myself in your dad's perspective, like seeing your own child make moves on their own.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello. You're good. Yay. Yeah. And my dad and I have a great relationship, and I've seen him, go through a lot of businesses, and like I used to work at the swap meet since I was 4 to 5 years old, because of my dad. So me, by watching him, I felt like that made me into a businesswoman as well.
Oh wow! So you already had like a teacher, like kind of a template to watch from. That's
yeah,
pretty cool.
I think it's And another thing about being a business owner is it's good to ask for help.
That's so true.
And family members who believe in you, or friends.
Yeah.
If you offer internships.
Yeah, I think that's one thing as business owners we forget to do, is like we feel like we have to take everything on ourselves, and then we sometimes get the gentle reminder, or sometimes a harsh reminder of having a breakdown.
Oh yes, that happens to me.
So like I need to delegate. I need to hire someone else.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot. It's people want the glory of something, and then they don't. Then the hard work comes, and it's intimidating.
No.
It's a special kind of crazy to do something like this.
Yes.
Because it's literally going, up and down in terms of the journey. So I think the class is about to start. Oh yeah, we got 5 minutes. You want to move this to the other room?
Yeah, we could definitely move to the other room.
We're gonna switch rooms. There's another class that's about to start. Give us a quick second. Here's a transition sound effect, I guess. All right, so we've changed rooms. It might be a little echoey, but hopefully the microphone, the mics help out a lot. So it should help. If it sucks.
We're back.
Oh well. So hope you guys enjoyed the transition sound, whatever that is. Okay, so I don't recall what we were talking about, but let's hop topics now.
Let's do that.
Okay, when it comes to, you know,
should we turn that one off?
no, it's fine.
Okay, it's just,
I'm just gonna get used to
it. It lets me know who comes in.
That's fine. I think that's pretty cool because the minute I heard it the first time, I'm like, that's smart, because you can be anywhere in here, and you know someone's here.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to worry about, like, I'm pretty sure you have, because you've taken the precautionary tales to protect yourself. But has your studio ever been robbed or?
No,
okay.
Thank God, no, and hopefully not. But sometimes you can't really think like that. But at the same time, you still want to be prepared and cautious of things. Like I do have an alarm system, and then when no one's here, I do tend to lock it, or sometimes with classes I lock it, especially when there's kids involved.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I think you always want to be careful, especially people that come in, because you know they could be potential customers or they may not be
potential crazies.
Yeah.
And especially since it's just you like running the place, I can imagine some creepiness happening.
Oh yeah, it could definitely happen.
Has it happened?
No, but you do get those who are like flirtatious, or you know.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Trying to hit on you from the windows. Hey, call me. I'll rent the studio if you talk to me. that'd be kind of a good business model.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when your dad first came to the other studio, I think you were talking about that and how he was kind of blown away with everything. What was his reaction? What did he say? Like, and did he continue help? Did he help you in another way, or was he like, "You're good"?
Yeah. Well, my dad, he told me that he was just amazed, and it made him feel really proud. You know, like as a parent, I guess. For him, felt like, wow, I did good.
Yeah.
You know, and she didn't need my help. Like I raised her well, that she doesn't need my help.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, if I could come to him with that advice, and if I need it, he will give it to me.
Yeah.
You know, or just a guidance. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's now he has his head up high. You know, and even now at this new studio, he helps me out. Like, hey, what do you need done? Because he understands that it's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, he helps me like sweep the floors, or you know, I introduce them to my dad, to everyone who comes here.
I saw your sister and her friend come through here. Does she teach, or she just comes hang out? Does she also help you with the studio?
Just to kind she helps out. She has helped me out in creating flyers and helping me with my social media.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, at the other studio too. Yeah, she's really good at that, very talented. And I think because of her, I've gotten a lot of people through Instagram. Most of my people come from Instagram.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm curious because, you know, I do run the social media marketing company, aka Vision Paradox. So,
yeah.
That's more like a question I would have. She would be in here. So, from Instagram, I'm curious, like what kind of business would you get from Instagram? Is it?
So more like people interested in lessons and privates, and you know, quinceañera choreography and things like that. So potential customers.
Yeah.
So because
this is just all from just sharing your content. Sharing your content.
Yeah.
Great,
it's either hashtags, they help a lot.
Yeah.
Tagging your place, having other people promote your space, or word of mouth. Anything helps, and I feel that everyone should help one another.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, Instagram is one of the top ones. Google, Yelp.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's the one thing that we don't talk enough about in our channel is Google or Yelp, because it's not really our forte. But yeah,
And to be honest, there's certain marketing stuff that you don't have to pay. Like you could just do it for free. And, you know, because when you start a business, you want to make sure you're not spending so much.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have the money, of course, spend as much as you can, you know, but if you don't, there's these programs or like, for example, Instagram that you don't have to pay.
Yeah.
Now they have where you could pay ads and stuff, you know, so you could do that. But there's another app that I use. It's called Nextdoor.
Oh yeah,
have you heard of that one? That's actually, I had a few students from there.
Isn't that like more of a neighborhood kind of social media? Yeah, I'm part of that.
Oh really?
I just use it to keep in mind of
what's happening
in the neighborhood, coyotes out in the middle of the night, stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
I haven't really because my business isn't like really location based, so it's.
But it doesn't even matter if it's not or if it is.
You're a good point.
Because
I've been really underestimating it.
Yeah, no. Like even when I didn't have a studio back in the day, I would go to their houses, but I would still put myself out there. You have to know how to market yourself and sell yourself.
Yeah.
And even though you don't have a location, you just say no. I go places, different locations, and it's good.
Yeah. One thing I just got curious with is pricing. I'm not gonna ask you to say what your prices are, but I'm curious, like that's a sensitive topic for a lot of artists and teachers. So like when did you feel like it was the right price for you? Or, you know what I mean? Like when do you feel like you're in the middle of conversation, like this is what I'm worth? You know what I mean? Instead of like undercutting yourself. Yeah,
you know what? When you're starting out, you wanna do things for free. Try to do. Yeah. No,
keep going. Yeah. I love what you're saying right now. Yeah. Yes, I love what you're saying.
Yeah, because it's like if it's about money, you're not gonna get far. But if it's about helping others, you're gonna get somewhere.
Yeah.
So if you do it for free just because it's your passion, you know, I think you're gonna get so many blessings from there.
Yeah.
So I remember I would do things for free. You know, and then I started charging like $20, $40, you know, and then later I would ask people around, you know, and I would kind of witness what they did and stuff. But then they would charge more and they were not even doing as much as I do. For example, like in quinceañeras, right? So they were charging so much when they would just choreograph and that's it.
Oh, you would go the extra mile.
Yeah. Like I made sure it was done and ready.
Yeah.
I made sure we had a rehearsal at the hall.
Yeah.
I was the host. I gave in the mix. I did the mix.
Wow.
And I made sure everything was good from beginning to the end of the routine. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So then after that, I realized, wait, hold up. You know, you know your worth. You know, like that person's charging a lot and he's only half-assing it, you know, but I guess it was just the way they would market themselves.
Yeah.
But I think little, you know your worth. But with this business, let's see, for example, when I was little, my parents they couldn't afford classes, you know? So when I got into being a business owner, a studio owner, I told myself I want to make my classes affordable.
Yeah, a lot of studios now are like $20 a class. I remember when I was able to go to class, it was like $12. Now like $20
it's like
a class.
$20. Yeah,
it's fucking crazy. Yeah, and that honestly, kind of scares people away because it's like, you know, if they don't see the value of it, it's kind of hard to sell it.
Yeah, definitely. So I made mine really affordable and they're still affordable. But now when you have a space, you have to charge, you know, a little bit more.
Yeah.
But even then, like my prices are reasonable and I still help people out.
Yeah.
So let's say they have a wedding and I say, is this much? And they say, hey, you know, I only have this much.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. I try not to say no.
Yeah. Oh, so you're really like open and flexible in a sense.
Because of that, they recommend you to other people they like the choreography, more people come, you know, and they always gonna keep you in mind.
Yeah.
This person helped me out. Oh, I'm looking for a dance instructor. Oh, I know who to send you to.
Yeah. So like really, it's not so much the transaction, but it's the relationship you built from it.
From there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it has helped me out a lot throughout the years, helping other people out.
So I think you brought up one thing that I thought that was a really good point. One thing that I love that you brought up is you did some of the work for free at first, because a lot of people are against the idea of doing free work. And it's funny because this is also another example, one of the themes that I talked about today. Like my friend Anthony, I interviewed him. He used to go, you know, Monsters of Hip Hop, right? That event.
Yeah.
He would used to drive up to San Francisco. He would, with no plan, he would go up there and say, I'll help clean up the event, and they would just let him take the classes for free. So he would he would literally just go up to the Bay, with no plan, and just he'd be willing to do any of the I guess quote unquote dirty work, as long as he can take class. And then what I like how you're saying is, you, in order to get yourself out there, you just doing it for free at first, and then it led to a point where it, you know, you had a price point that was worth your time and the effort that you put in compared to like the competitors. So
yes.
I mean, I think that's something that everyone needs to pay attention to, is because it's like, you know, I know you guys want to get the coin right off the bat, but it's like, you know, if you don't have a body of work, you know, you're not worth shit, to be honest. Like, I mean, not your self-worth. You're worth a lot, but in terms of now we're talking into the business side, it's like, you know, you have to have a body of work.
You have to have a different mentality. Yeah, and you have to, like I said, there's some people that can't afford you, but you could kind of trade. Yeah. Be like, hey, okay, we'll do your budget, but if you could promote it or tag me, or you know, you can use these type of things. Yeah. You know, but yeah, I think you got to put yourself out there, and the only way is by you doing things for free. And then you meet these people. What's important is if you go out to events, or, you know, the connections, the people you meet. Yeah. Because they could help you out, or either of you could help each other out. Yeah. Yeah. So when you started promoting your studio for the first time, what did you do? So what I did first? Yeah, to start getting the word out. So, dun, dun, dun. Okay, so what I did, dun, dun, dun. I use a lot of sound effects. So, to the new location, or? No, whatever you felt like has worked for you, like so far. Aside from me, you shared Instagram. What else? Yeah, so I was always active in Instagram and Facebook. Yeah. So, I mean, the first thing I did, I announced, there's a picture on my Instagram of me holding the keys to the old location, saying, hey, just to let you guys know, I opened my own dance studio. Yeah. So just kind of putting it out there on your personal page, which was Facebook and Instagram at that time. Yeah. Yeah. So I think I put it out there, would put videos and put it up on the social media. I think that's one of the first things I did. That's it. And then tell people. Yeah. But then after that, you have to do a lot more. With this new space, I had to do a lot more. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I hired a company. They're so good. I hired a company where they make your flyers and they distribute. Oh, for you? For you. That's cool. And it's way cheaper than, you know, the post office. The post office? Yeah, because they do that too. Or, I don't know that. Yeah, they do that for you, but they'll charge you a lot more. Oh, so this company helped me with my flyers, and they kind of saw me too. They're, hey, you're young, and wow, I like what you're doing. So let me help you out. Yeah. And I was okay, awesome. So that was a really good one. So like, you want to save time as much as you can. Awesome. Yeah. That was fucking awesome. You're gonna see that a lot of there's a hospital here, so you're gonna see a lot of fire trucks and ambulances. That's cool. Oh, that's cool. So if someone gets hurt, just walk them over to the hospital. There you go. So yeah, I was like, that's what this place is perfect location. Yeah, you know? Okay. But yeah, going back to that company, like they did my flyers and they distribute. And what I love about that company, I've never seen any company that does that, but I love the fact that they hired other people who need the work.
Oh.
And they help the company out to pass out the flyers early in the morning.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I really like that because they're making work for others.
Yeah.
You know, and they're helping you at the same time. So that's actually a pretty genius thing to do and do for yourself as a business owner, because that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
So time is precious, and that's one way to kind of one way, you know, one thing to like to take that off your shoulders and have someone else do it for you.
Yeah, it's a good thing, like, delegate, because shit, that would be like hours just on
Yes.
that.
I know, and I used to do that before.
Really?
Like when I was.
Oh, so you know, like from first-hand
everything.
experience.
Oh yeah. I'm a hard work. Yeah, my dad did a lot, so I would always help him out. So we did pass out flyers, and it's tough, especially when people like you're handing them flyers and they say no. Oh. So now when I get flyers from people, I know how it feels. So I just take it, and I take it and I say, yeah. So you have to be my
I think that's one thing too, because like one of my other friends who's a personal trainer, social media is great, but old school flyers, especially if you're a local neighborhood, a local business, it still works. Like, he's a personal trainer. He does like what you'd have in the front door. There's like little slips that people, little tearaways. He still does that, and he gets his clients that way better than social media. So, and then, I mean, just because we have the online world doesn't mean we throw away some of the old tactics. It's still like, try everything.
Yeah, to be honest, that's what I do. The new stuff and the old stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really helps out, and pretty much.
I'm going to ask you one last question.
Yeah.
And this is a new question I've been asking today. Do you do drugs? No.
No.
Okay. Or are the drugs? No, I'm just kidding. What do you want people to say about you when you're gone?
I had that. I thought of that one before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know they're gonna say good things.
At your eulogy, she was good. That's it.
I just want them to know that I was a great influence, great impact in their lives.
Short and sweet. All right. So where can people find you guys online to connect with you?
Yeah, so you could find us at CrystalArts Dance Academy on our Instagram and Facebook. We are located in Tarzana.
Oh, I thought we were in Encino. Oh my God, I'm so off. So what was the thing that you wanted to add?
I just wanted to add, for those who are starting out, to ask for help. And then also, if you, for example, if you need something, let's say I recently for this new location, I needed help with my signs. Those are expensive.
I bet.
They're like $2,000 and up.
Oh man.
And I have five. So imagine that. But just know that there's companies that are willing to help you out too. And don't, try it and kind of ask them. So one of the things that I did, I kind of, with this company who helped me out with my sign, I was like, hey, I don't have that much money. I just started. Is there a way you could help me out in payments and things like that? Yeah. And they said, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So if you do things like that,
be willing to ask.
Willing to ask. And those people who really, see something in you or have the potential, like they'll be willing to help you out. Especially because at one point it reminded them of, when they started.
Yeah, they were in the same shoes at one point.
Yeah. So I think, that's one thing that I want to give out. Like, don't be scared to ask and ask for help and, trying to see how each business could help each other out or exchange services too.
Yeah, people.
It's a good one.
Overlook the fact that you can just barter.
Yeah.
Like for, an exchange, because people always think it's about the dollar bills or you got to exchange money for a service.
Yeah,
but
no.
if you can find a way to it's all about finding a way to create a win-win. So,
yeah.
Because then, if you can create a win-win, why wouldn't they work with you?
Yeah. And you just, you have to, because you're going to feel good at the end of the day. You help someone out.
Yeah.
And not just that, but it's more blessings to you, to your business.
Yeah.
And another thing is you just want to stay humble with it, even though as a business owner, I try and stay humble about things.
Yeah, it's easy to be like, I'm a business owner.
Yeah,
I'm a business owner. Then expenses come. Shit, I'm a business owner.
Yes, and you know what's the best part too? When I'm here at the studio, I don't look like I look like I work here, and I'm not the owner. So it's interesting how some people, hey, can I talk to the owner? I was like, yes, how can I help you?
You're looking at her.
You're looking at her. And they're so amazed because, one, I'm young and I'm a woman, a young entrepreneur.
Yeah, how old are you?
I just turned 27.
27 and not got a business?
Yes. Yeah, I started with my own company. I started at 24.
Damn.
So I started CrystalArts Dance Academy August 19, 2015.
Yeah. Holy shit, I'm jealous of you. I started my business much later than you. Fuck, you're like so far ahead of the curve. Can I break your legs?
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
I'm still gonna succeed whether.
Wow. See, and the fact, here's what the thing that amazes me is that, one, a lot of people we're kind of like in the same generation, are very impatient, and then it just goes back to the fact that you're young and patient. And you have very strong work ethic. And I think those are elements that a lot of people lack, especially being young.
Yeah.
Especially like when they're 20s. I don't know if you see it on Instagram, but there's a whole like memes that are like talking about having to make it at a certain age. You know what I mean? Like, by 21 I have to have this happen. By 30 I have to have this happen. There's like a lot of pressure, societal pressure mainly. Like you have to be financially independent by 24. Or something like that. So, and I think the fact that you were patient, you accepted that this is going to be a long game. It kind of just fell into place, so to speak.
Yeah, it did.
Versus people, because you said it earlier, don't force the issue. Like people who rush they are forced the issue, push the result further away.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that. Yeah.
27, dude? I'm jealous as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
What was I doing at 27?
Huh?
I'm trying to figure out
What were you doing at 27?
Figuring out my life.
Well, you know what? It's everyone has their own time, and there's times where something has to happen in your life to make that change. I feel like, or sometimes someone gets it sooner, or it takes them longer, but it doesn't mean that you're not gonna get there.
Yeah, people get caught up with comparison. They're like, oh, such and such is already buying a house, such and such is getting married, and I'm like, and then I was talking about this in a previous podcast, like everyone has their own timing. Yeah,
definitely. And for me, it was like I want my own dance studio first before I even move out.
Wow.
Because I do want my own place, but it's like I'd rather have my own dance studio.
That's fucking cool. You were like so set on this vision, it like manifested.
Yeah, and it's crazy, but it works.
Yeah.
I love it. It brings me alive, Yeah. It keeps me up and keeps me moving forward, and sometimes you forget about all the things that, that the process
it's easy to forget about what you've achieved because you're so busy trying to make things happen.
Yeah, and you do get like that sometimes. You get overwhelmed, and then people remind you, and you're like, "Damn, that's right."
That's such an important thing to have, is a good support system of people to remind you how good you are. Because being a business owner or entrepreneur in general, it's a lonely journey. Regular people with regular jobs can't relate.
No,
it's the equivalent of parents trying to talk to non-parents. They can't relate. They don't. Yeah. It's a level of understanding they don't get yet.
No, yeah, and I actually was having a conversation with my dad. Someone's telling you to do this and that, but where are they?
Yeah.
You can't compare yourself to someone else who's not even at your level or who has not done what you've done.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like I just talked about that, but I'm pretty sure I said it in another podcast. This is my third podcast today, folks. So I'm pretty sure I'm mixing up my timeline of what I've said.
I think we both are.
So that's it for this episode of Emeroy TV, Vision Paradox TV, or wherever you're listening to this on the podcast. Everything we just mentioned is going to be in the link in the description down below. Make sure you support them, show some love. Come take a class over here, rent the space. I know we're going to be renting that for an upcoming project. We just got to finalize the whole process and everything. Yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I appreciate you guys. Make sure to hit like, subscribe, share this with friends who you think might benefit from this, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.
Bye.